So here's the Ponky trade from yesterday. I want to kind of do some voiceover regarding the thinking and just the logic behind me entering that trade. To recap, this was something like a 14% move that got successfully closed to take profit, and we made something like I think we made something like 2K on this single trade, which is good for daily profit. So as you can see that the Ponzi is moving down while Bitcoin starts to move up. And then so this sort of technique is very important because this technique can make you a lot of money, especially when there is a volatility in the market. So usually everything happens much quicker. You see Bitcoin just all of a sudden dumping like 5 to 10%. And as it starts to rebound, you enter some longs on alts that dump the most. So what happens here is that I'm entering two longs so far. The reason why I'm entering these longs is because the Bitcoin has reached this level of support. Ponki has seen a over 20% move down in a day, which considering that considering Binance listing and other stuff is just to me seems to be undervalued at this point. So I want to consider entering some longs in this area. So see the Bitcoin is pretty confidently moving up at this point, while Ponki is still kind of sitting in that area. So you see me here zooming in and out quite often here, just to kind of confirm my bias, confirm that sell volume is declining while purchase volume is increasing. So now I see a confirmation of a move up. So now Ponki is starting to move up as well. So now what I'm looking for here is, so right away, kind of my thought here is that I'm not gonna lose money in this trade anymore, because if it's gonna go against me, if the Bitcoin will make a new low, I'm going to just close the trade at break even. So I'm watching both prices. So what I'm looking for right now here is some sort of fast move up on Ponke to follow, to kind of close that gap with Bitcoin. So let's see what happens next. And my stop in this case is if it's going to make a new low, if it's going to go past this low on the left easily, then I will close this trade. In this case, the stop would be less than 1%, but the reward is more like a 10 to 15% move easily, which is exactly what happened. So at this point, I already know that Bitcoin has confirmed that it reached a temporary bottom. The reason why is because this move up is faster than previous ones, and and I can see that yes, they've been trying to accelerate it down for a while, and nothing, and they still haven't succeeded in like that fast acceleration down. So I'm thinking that okay, my hypothesis here is that this is the bottom on the Bitcoin. So this is what I'm working off right now. Okay, so whenever this happens, I'm now looking for, there's two options. Either I exit the trade, or I give it another order. So I'm looking at both the volumes of this move down on Ponke. So I'm noticing that compared to the volumes on the left on Ponke, that is, this move down has barely any volume, and I noticed that. So when because and then I noticed that Bitcoin is bouncing back up, while there is still no kind of significant volumes involved in this move down on Ponke. So I'm deciding to give it a third order, further increasing my position size. The very important part here is that yes, still the important part here is the Bitcoin moving up fast enough to kind of confirm this bottom pattern, as well as Ponky, which is like this is perfect. Like whenever this kind of stuff happens, this is perfect. Now it's a very high chance of bottom forming essentially. I could have exited this trade, right? I could have like I was watching Bitcoin, if it's just gonna do a simple retrace, and then I was also watching Ponki if it's easily gonna go below the low established on the left, which it did not, thankfully. Now, yeah, now I feel very comfy. Now I feel very comfy because I'm also seeing I'm also seeing large market orders on Ponki, like 50k market orders. In cases like this, what you will also notice here is that I'm looking for like maybe a 3% move up. Usually, like something like this, something like Punky will go up 3% or so, and then trade sideways for a few hours, maybe something like 5 hours, until it actually produces the move up. At that point, a good strategy is to close part of the trade at that sideways movement. However, in this case, I didn't do that. I carried this position size all the way to the take profit at 15%. Yeah, well, yeah. So, well, this trade is pretty much done at this point. What's going to happen is that basically exactly what I said. It's going to move up a little more and then trade sideways for a while um, until creating that 15% move. So yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, so in this video, I want to explain probably one of the most profitable strategies trading in Moonbot. Unfortunately, it does not happen very often in the last few months, and it's like I desperately was trying to record it in action. And as you saw like in the previous edit of the video where I actually executed this trade. Um, the reason why, so the concept is going to be the same when there is like when there is a time of a very high volatility. So it all starts with the Bitcoin just having like a consistent downtrend, 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 and usually what happens is that there is some sort of bad news comes out or whatever that is, and then the Bitcoin takes a very fast acceleration down. So by very fast acceleration, I mean in a matter of seconds, Bitcoin will drop 5% or so, sometimes even 10%. And then on the trading view chart, even if you go to 1 minute time frame, you will see that as a wick, like a very long tail wick. But basically, but in the bot, you actually see a full move down, purchases and sells and so on. So yesterday I was watching this area, and I know that like if you just look at the trading view chart, for example, and let's actually pull up the trading view chart really quick, just to for the sake of explanation. So let's go to Bitcoin. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I have just some basic things drawn on the chart, which are just my long time ideas. So I know, for example, this move I was kind of expecting. With this move, I was expecting this is the move that happened yesterday. I was expecting a deeper pullback into this area. I was really hoping for an acceleration that would take out these lows, but we didn't get it. But I still knew that this area might still provide a relief bounce. Okay, so whenever this and then so considerably the chart that I actually took a trade on was our our favorite monkey. The thing with monkey yesterday was is that there was news of the Binance listing, and so I know that right away there is going to be a very highly elevated interest in the coin. Okay, so the thing squeezed up to 63 cents and then continued to drop like very rapidly. So I see that okay, this is a pretty substantial move down. So I know that okay, there has got to be the um, the relief balance is gotta be close. But I also know that this, no matter what this chart is showing you, this is still gonna follow Bitcoin. Yeah, if its confluences with something, great. If it doesn't, whatever. Really, everything is gonna follow. Everything is gonna follow Bitcoin. So all I need from this chart is the fact that it dropped a lot, but the coin is strong and has lots of interest. So the relief balance gotta be in play. And the way to find that relief balance is by looking at the Bitcoin, right? And then so the Bitcoin was approaching the area of interest right here. At the same time, so this area here, you see 1354 was the lowest point, right? And then so let's look at 1354. 1354 was right here. So see what happens here is that the Bitcoin started its move up, right? So it's already moving up from the low. So see, for example, 1400. Let's find 1400 here as well. So 1400, you still the Ponke still did another kind of retest of this area. And what I've noticed as well, and the reason why I added another order, so the black crosses is obviously my buy orders, and in this case, I believe each one of these orders was something like 6K. I think we made like 2 grand on this trade because we closed it out right here. The trade was closed, but essentially, you see that Bitcoin is already bouncing, right? And but this asset is still kind of contemplating. But most importantly, what I need is this consistent increase of buy volume. So as it was dropping all the way from 41, as it was dropping, I see that the buy volume is rising and rising and rising and rising until the buy volume, like right here, uh, exceeds sell volume. So even though the price moved down, but there's just still all the buy volume is still is increasing. So I know that this is a very, very high chance for this trade to be successful because, and if it's not, if it's gonna go a little bit lower than this low, I'm just gonna like my stop is like less than 1%. Okay, um, so risk reward here is very, very high on trades like this. Now, the reason why you can make a lot of money in these trades is because usually they happen fast. Like in this case, this is considered slow movement. Usually it happens really fast. The Bitcoin drops 10% in seconds, and then as it drops 10% in seconds, you are watching on your left Bitcoin bouncing, and then some of the altcoins that drop the most, they just kind of bottom out. But you see that the Bitcoin is bouncing already, so you market enter a few trades on the altcoins and then get the bounce on the altcoins. So this is a very these trades are very safe, and usually you can get like 15-20% bounces very often on huge liquidity, so meaning that you can put in a very large order in, and then like those kind of trades are the most profitable usually. So yeah, so this yeah, so hopefully that explanation was good for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, see you next time.